Yesterday, I received a press release that highlights just how unwieldy our various governing bodies have become, how much those governing bodies love an acronym, how they have conspired, deliberately or otherwise, to create a competence card minefield, and how far removed they are from the real challenges facing working men and women in the sector. Before we get to all that, let me start with the headlines. The press release reads, a number of construction-based federations have now fully established a plant-focused sector representative organisation, that's an SRO, known as the Plant Sector Representative Organisation, PSRO. The Construction Leadership Council, CLC, identified the need for employee-based SROs to work with the standards setting bodies, SSBs, such as CITB, in agreeing suitable qualifications and any additional sector requirements for use with any CSCS logoed card schemes. The need for a plant-based SRO was identified because of a collective concern over the then sale of CITB of the leading plant card scheme CPCS and an increasing proliferation of plant-based card schemes being offered to the construction sector. Now, setting aside the fact that those first three sentences contained an acronym salad of SRO, PSRO, CLC, SSB, CITB and CSCS, who looked at the competence card Hell-scape and thought, you know what this needs? Another layer of bureaucracy and administration. The idea of bringing together the various trade bodies under a single umbrella may be a good idea. In fact, I wish it had happened in time for the industry to fight to retain the red diesel subsidy. I digress. Now, if you thought the well of acronyms was now run dry, think again, because the press release goes on to say that a board has been established from the partner bodies. Build UK, the Civil Engineering Contractors Association, CECA, Construction Plant Hire Association, CPA, Federation of Piling Specialists, FPS, Home Builders Federation, HBF, National Federation of Demolition Contractors, NFDC, and the Scottish Plant Owners Association, SPOA. The group also has representation from the HSE because, you can never have too many acronyms. The PSRO, that's the Plant Sector Representative Organisation, in case your head is now overstuffed with initials, has now been established as a private limited company. Furthermore, it has two subgroups, a technical review group and a certificating bodies group. The technical review, you can tell I'm exasperated, can't you? The technical review group consists of representatives from each of the partner bodies, and its role is to advise the board on skills, training, and card scheme certification processes. Representatives on the group need to have both good knowledge of plant card schemes and qualifications, as well as being actively involved within plant operations. And right there is the rub. Just how many of those member organisations are actively involved in plant operations? Where is the representation from the men and the women that will be expected to abide by the rules laid down by this overarching umbrella over a series of smaller umbrella organisations? And given that this is a private limited company and not just an occasional get-together of the industry's great and good, this organisation will cost money to operate. It will require staff and quite possibly an office. As you saw earlier, it already has a website. Who pays for all of that? And can you imagine the bureaucracy lying at the heart of all of this? Trying to get an agreement between 7 member organisations before getting approval from the HSC and the CITB, 2 organisations with a proven track record of preferring meetings over any genuine action. Finally, and just as a small aside, the press release states that the new PSRO, you remember what PSRO stands for, right? It has the NFDC among its members, the National Federation of Demolition Contractors, not the National Demolition Training Group, but the NFDC itself. Assuming that is the case, the demolition industry as a whole will be represented on the board of this new umbrella organisation by an organisation that represents less than a quarter of all UK demolition companies. What about the other 3/4? When do they get to have their say? And while we're about it, the industry elite have decided to put all their little silos into one big silo to safeguard the money being made from training and a broken competence card scheme. Yet there is no sign of them taking a similar approach to things like mental health, an industry-wide gender imbalance, construction sector suicide, or the presence of drugs and alcohol on sites. Funny that.